What happened last night, I'm gonna let that shit slide, all right?
Okay.
You don't need to speak to her no more.
I don't want to speak to her no more.
All right, so don't let it happen, all right? And then we ain't gonna have no problems.
Listen,
all right?
Tell her to stop saying the shit that she says.
No, she can say whatever she want to say.
Not to me, though.
Hold on.
Not to me.
No, she said whatever she want to say.
How do you want me not to talk to her and then she can say shit to me?
I'm telling you.
Does that make sense to you?
If she says something to you, you address me. You don't speak to her.
Shaq ain't gonna let nothing pop out. No, but I just need you to stay with me. Shaq ain't finna let shit pop out.
You tell her. Don't be coming at me with the crazy shit.
I'm telling you.
And if she coming at me with the crazy shit,
hold on. I'm telling you some shit right now. I know about the past, right? I ain't gonna go fight the past.
You know her side of the past.
Tell me something different then. Tell me something different.
You gonna find out.
Tell me something different.
You gonna find out.
You don't want to find out.
What don't I want to find out? Listen, I'm a doctor, bro. I ain't got time to be fighting with people who coming up and you talking, sending like veiled threats. I don't have time to fight you or anybody else.
I ain't making no threats.
Anybody else.
Making no threats.
I just hope she takes her.
I ain't making no threats.
I hope you sweep her off her feet.
I ain't making no
sweep her
threats.
as far as you can sweep her, bro.
Bro.
Look, I got no words for her.
I said one thing.
But tell her to stop saying shit about
you ain't got no words, we good.
Man,
all right?
Man. What, man? Who you think you're talking to, bro?
Man, I'm talking to you, motherfucker. What you gonna do? No. We don't need you in here.
I figured you was like that because I know how your girl is. So I figured you was like that. I figured you up. That's what you want to do.
Oh, shit. No.
No. What are you talking about?
That's how they roll. Oh, hell no.
Quad Webb is no stranger to drama, but nothing could have prepared her for this twist. Her boyfriend, Anthony King Morrison, just got busted in a major luxury car theft operation, and the details are wild. We're talking about stolen Lambos, Porsches, and a Rolls Royce that was allegedly being stashed at Quad's house. Now, this isn't just some petty theft situation. According to the feds, King was part of a ring that targeted high-end dealerships across Georgia, stealing multiple vehicles using fake IDs and fraudulent paperwork. Authorities say this operation was slick and organized, and King wasn't just a small player. Court records say he was right in the middle of it. But before we get into the court case and that stolen Rolls Royce, let's rewind, because King didn't just pop out of nowhere. This story starts long before the flashing blue lights.
Teamwork makes the dream work, and in most cases it does.
But in this case,
it's gonna be some shit.
On the surface, King looked like the dream guy. Flashy cars, designer clothes, exclusive parties, private jets. The man had Instagram in a chokehold. He painted the picture of a self-made entrepreneur, always in the mix, always on the grind. You know the type. Money phone in one hand, champagne in the other, flexing like he owned the city. But once the smoke cleared, it became obvious that his empire wasn't exactly built on clean money. He was living two lives, one that looked good on social media and another that operated behind closed garage doors, literally. All those luxury cars? Turns out they weren't all his. And now it looks like his entire lifestyle was just a front for something a lot darker. But behind the filters and flexes, King was allegedly running a whole other operation, and it was anything but luxury. Here's where it gets crazy. The whole thing blew up over a stolen Rolls Royce. Yup, one of those six-figure ultra-luxury cars you only see in rap videos. Authorities started digging into a car theft ring, and boom, King's name popped up. Not just once, repeatedly. Apparently, this wasn't some small-time hustle either. This was organized. These folks were taking high-end vehicles, reworking titles, disabling GPS trackers, and flipping the cars like they were flipping sneakers. And King wasn't just a name on the fringes, he was right there in the middle of it. Now, this ring would lease luxury cars under fake or borrowed identities, never return them, and move them across state lines or to private buyers. That Rolls Royce vanished not long after being picked up, and once the GPS went dark, it set off alarm bells. Police traced the pattern, and one by one, the pieces started falling into place. King ended up in cuffs. Not for looking good on Instagram, but for allegedly playing a key role in one of the slickest car theft operations out of Atlanta. And just like that, the luxury lifestyle turned into a legal nightmare. And here's where things go from wild to downright shocking, because this wasn't just a random crime, it hit way too close to Quad. So now the big question, where does Quad fit into all this? Let's be real. Quad doesn't exactly keep her life private, but when the news broke, she went quiet. And that silence had fans wondering, was she in on it? Did she know anything? Or was she just another woman caught up with the wrong man? From what we can tell, this situation blindsided her. There were whispers that King may have used her name to impress people, make connections, or give himself more credibility. And honestly, it makes sense. When you're dating a reality star with a loyal fan base and a public platform, people assume you've got it all together too. But behind the scenes, King might have been name-dropping Quad to slide through certain doors, secure certain deals, or simply make himself look more legit. That's where things get sticky. It's one thing to be scammed, but it's a whole different story when someone uses your image to sell the scam quid, eventually spoke up, making it clear she had nothing to do with King's business, and judging by her energy, she felt completely played. One minute you're showing off Bay on the gram, and the next you're scrubbing every trace of him off your timeline while your name's being dragged into headlines you didn't ask for. So was Quad just a victim of bad love, or was there more going on behind the scenes? Let's talk about when she finally found out the truth.
It probably is a lot for him to see me being happy and have a handsome man who's young and strong. And should I not be allowed to say those things because my ex-husband is sitting here with his new wife? Nobody didn't have that type of grace for me when they was parading around.
After all the headlines, speculation, and social media whispers, Quad finally broke her silence, and let's just say when she speaks, people listen. She didn't rush to defend herself, which made some folks side-eye her, but when she did step forward, it was with emotion, clarity, and zero tolerance for the drama that had landed on her doorstep. She made it clear she had nothing to do with King's crimes. According to her, she had no idea about his double life and found out just like the rest of us through the news. Her statement didn't come with fancy PR talk, it was personal. She called the situation devastating, not just because of the embarrassment, but because someone she trusted was living a lie under her roof. Coy deleted all traces of King from her socials before making her statement, and that silence spoke volumes, but when she did speak, she didn't hold back. She said she felt violated and used, and that King had manipulated not only her, but the public perception of their relationship. There's even talk that she showed up briefly to one of the early court hearings, not for support, but for closure. Word is, she didn't stay long and avoided cameras, but her presence alone said enough. She wanted to face what happened and move on without looking back. But y'all, what Quad said next shook the entire courtroom and had fans wondering if she was really the one being played. So here's where things get really messy. During the trial, King's defense team tried to spin the story in a way nobody expected. Instead of fully denying his role, they hinted that he might have been a pawn in something bigger, that someone could have been targeting Quad through him. Now, before you roll your eyes, listen to this. They claimed that King, with his ties to high-profile circles and public relationships, was manipulated into helping people much higher up in the scheme, people who allegedly knew that being connected to Quad would give them cover or make the operation look less suspicious. Basically, they said King was too caught up in love, status, and the lifestyle to realize he was being used too. The court didn't buy all of it, but that angle definitely made folks look at things sideways. Was King just a flashy boyfriend caught up in a criminal circle? Or was he handpicked because of his connection to someone like Quad, who was already in the spotlight? Whether or not it was true, that defense move definitely shifted some of the heat and left the public wondering if there was more to the story than what we saw on the surface. And just when we thought it couldn't get any messier, the defense flips the whole thing and points the finger somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm going
Oh,
to
they
jail.
said you're going to jail, baby. Why? Why would he do
What am I going to
that?
jail for?
No, don't try to put my
Yeah, I'm
baby
going
in
to jail for
jail.
an argument.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right.
That's done, honey. King called down to the police precinct, child. They said that was ridiculous, and they cannot file any charges. So, you know, people say anything, don't, and y'all run with it. Don't run with it, baby.
Was
Gotta
I
check
banned
into
from
it.
the show?
So here's the thing in reference to the show. What happened with that after what we saw on the sandbar? My ex, his ego was stepped on, and so he wanted to get one up on us, and so he decided that he wanted to go to the network and complain and go to the police department and try to quote unquote file some charges. And so for the moment, until we were done investigating, they had said that King can film but he could not film with the rest of the group at that time. But he could, of course, we have our own personal story, so he could continue to film with me.
Despite the drama, the courtroom twists, and the attempts to shift blame, the verdict came down hard. King was found guilty. Grand theft auto, wire fraud, and conspiracy charges stacked up fast. The prosecution laid out the timeline from the moment those luxury cars were reported stolen to how they were tracked down and linked directly to King and his crew. The biggest bombshell? That stolen Rolls-Royce wasn't just a one-off. It was part of a larger pattern that stretched across state lines. And King wasn't just a side player, he was involved in the logistics, the movement, and the money trail. The court had receipts, fake documents, altered VINs, and messages between King and his accomplices that sealed the deal. In the end, the judge didn't hesitate. King was sentenced to serious prison time, and with King now facing serious time, the focus shifts back to Quad because while the courtroom battle is over, her public battle is just beginning. Let's be real, Quad has always been one of the most outspoken and stylish women on Married to Medicine, but after her name got tied up in a luxury car theft ring, her image took a hit. Some fans stood by her, saying she's a victim in all of this and deserves grace. Tweets poured in like, y'all better leave Quad alone, she didn't steal that car, and she's always carried herself with class. One man's crime shouldn't ruin her life, but not everyone was so supportive. Others questioned how she could be that close to someone living a double life and have no idea. A few blogs even started speculating about brand deals and whether companies would quietly distance themselves. While no official partnerships have dropped her publicly, it's safe to say there's a shadow hanging over her brand right now. And what about her future on Married to Medicine? Producers love drama, but networks hate scandal when it gets too real. So now, fans are wondering, will she stay on the show? Or will this be her exit storyline? Some insiders are hinting that Bravo might ride the wave for ratings, while others believe Quad might want to step back on her own terms to rebuild privately. But here's the question that's got everyone talking. Was all of this just bad luck, or was Quad set up?
Can I put you guys on pause for just a second? Let me tell you something. I have never laid with a married man. And in this married man that they're speaking of, I hired him to work for me. And I do have audio to prove who really slept with the man. Don't test me.
Next season.
Wait a minute. Watch this. Wait a minute, sweetheart. Wait a minute. So along with the polygraph test, if I need to, there is audio. And I've already checked with the attorneys in Georgia. I can run it.
Now let's get into the part that's buzzing all over social media. Because according to the internet, this whole thing might go deeper than just King and a few stolen cars. Some fans are convinced that King was planted, that someone close to Quad, maybe even within her cast circle, wanted to see her fall. And listen, if you've watched Married to Medicine, you know not everyone's been on Team Quad. There's been beef, jealousy, and some serious tension over the seasons. So when this scandal broke, it wasn't surprising that names started floating around. People are whispering that maybe an old frenemy tipped off authorities or fed the media just enough to make sure Quad got dragged into the narrative. Others believe someone from her past, maybe a business rival or an ex-friend, saw an opportunity to damage her reputation and took it. None of it is confirmed, but the timing, the way the story blew up, and how it hit just as Quad was stepping back into the spotlight, it definitely has fans raising eyebrows. What do you guys think? Was Quad just an innocent woman caught in a criminal mess? Or did she miss the red flags? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss what happens next.